Well, what's up, everybody? Welcome into the very first. We're going to call it OTC for shirt.
Yes, sir.
For shirt. For
For sure.
short. Can't even talk today. Outside the shy.
Yes,
I'm
sir.
JC. Got my man, Charles. I like to call him Sir Charles. You can call him what you like. The artist formerly known as. But we're here and we're hyped.
Yes,
And,
sir.
Charles, you and I both have a background in Chicago sports, and it's a passion of ours. We're both in the sports world. And I know I'm hyped about this, and I'm hyped to be part of it with you more
Yes,
than
sir.
anything, because I think our vibe fits well together. And I think we're going to have some things to talk about in the world of Chicago sports, some good, some bad,
Yeah, yeah.
some feel like we're tortured for life and, whatever it is. But,
Feel like
but
you're
anyway,
foreshadowing, bro.
yeah. Hey, look, if you, I think there's this. If you're a Bears fan, a Cubs fan, a Bulls fan, like myself, I'm a casual Hawks fan. I'm not a huge hockey guy, but I do watch it. I do follow it, just not as entrenched as I am with the other three. Obviously, I watch Chicago Sky, but you you have grown up with torment.
Yes.
My friends and you and I both we live in the South,
Yeah.
and everybody's like, "Why are you a Bears fan? Why are you a
Right.
Cubs fan? Why are you a Bulls fan? How did that come about?" And so for me, I've got my story. Tell everybody your story of why you are a Chicago sports guy.
Let me start off by saying, man, I'm super hyped to be a part of this, bro. Like, I've been wanting to do a podcast about my teams, right? I'm a huge Bears fan, huge Bulls fan. Grew up watching the Cubs with my grandfather. Um, like you said, the Chicago Sky followed them. I'll give you the background, man. I grew up on the south suburbs of Chicago. Shout out to Park Forest, University Park. If you know, you know. But I grew up. I was born in '83. So when the Bears won their Super Bowl, I was 2 years old, and I don't remember too much about that. But I just remember my dad always having Bears stuff, and we were always watching the Bears on Sundays. And then basketball came around. I grew up in the heyday of the Chicago Bulls, man. I saw
Spoiled.
all six, okay,
Yep.
all six. So, and even with the Cubs, man, like I said, my grandfather, we go over to his house, man. He'd have Harry Carey on and Sandberg and Mark Gray, Sean Dunston, those guys, Andre Dawson. I think if I remember correctly, in elementary school, I dressed up as one of them. I can't remember which one it was. It wasn't Sam. It
it,
wasn't Rhino.
it
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 wasn't
had to
Rhino.
be Mark Grace. It had to be Mark Grace. I mean,
I mean, the
it's
resemblance
you're
is
a spitting
cancer.
image of Mark Grace.
But like, I remember me and my boys had the Cubs jerseys and all that stuff. So I mean, Chicago sports has been it's like injected into my veins, bro. This is what I love. This is what I love talking about. So as soon as you reached out, I was like, it's a go. We got to do it.
For me, my story is a little bit different from the aspect that when I talk about Chicago sports, and anybody who knows me knows who I'm a fan of. Everybody knows. I mean, it's no secret. I get the text messages when the Bears lose.
Me
I get,
too, man.
we all get harassed or whatever. And shout out to my man Ben Johnson. Text messages have been a lot less this year. Thank you, my guy. But most people assume I'm from Chicago.
Yeah,
Um, I don't talk like I'm from the South. First and foremost, I don't sound like I'm from Arkansas.
facts.
Um, and so people just assume I'm from Illinois or the Chicago area. I actually grew up in St. Petersburg, Florida. And everybody's like, well, how did that happen? Like, how did you become a Bears and a Bulls and a Cubs guy like in Florida? Well, it was easy. I was born in 76. I'm almost 50. And as a kid, at that time, we had very little pro sports in the state of Florida.
Yeah.
At that time, you had the Miami Dolphins, you had the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, which would have been my hometown.
Okay.
Um, you didn't have any Major League Baseball. You had no hockey. You had no Orlando Magic, no Miami Heat. You had none of it. No Jacksonville Jaguars. All you had was two NFL franchises in the entire state. And so, obviously the creamsicle unis, dope as hell
Facts.
for the Bucks, but that's where it stopped.
Yeah.
You know, the unis, and you had Vinny Testaverde at that time. you know,
Mm.
former Hurricane, by the
Yeah.
way. We got that tonight as well.
Yeah.
But so for me, I grew up watching WGN. It's that simple.
The
It's that
Superstation, baby.
simple that it was that simple for me watching I watched WGN and I watched TBS as a kid. So I had Atlanta Braves, baseball, Atlanta Hawks, all of that was going on. But then on WGN, every day when I was getting home from school, the Cubs were playing on WGN because at that time they hadn't even played a night game yet at Wrigley.
Wow.
And so I would come home and I'd naturally start watching these games. Well, I gravitated to the Cubs. Well, this is around 83, 84 that I'm really getting into sports. My dad wasn't a big sports guy, so this was just kind of my thing. Well, my parents started going through turmoil and divorce and everything else. So my solace was sports.
Gotcha.
That's what I used to escape. My mother went through a tough time and she'd leave, she'd go out, whatever. I'd be left at home alone as a kid. And I was trying to consume as much sports and keep myself as distracted as possible. And that's what I did. So I immersed myself in sports. Well, then, you think about the 84, 85 Bears, you think about MJ getting drafted by the Bulls, 85. And so it was just like a perfect storm for me where I really started following all these Chicago teams at that time. Little did I know that I was going to be tormented for the majority of my life at that moment. That decision was going to impact my life greatly, and I had no idea at that moment. But that was really kind of my background. It's my passion. Now, obviously, I'm NFL credentialed media. I have a daily sports talk show in Arkansas that I've obviously taken a hiatus from due to my health battle. And for those that are watching for the first time or whatnot, I'm battling stage 4 lung cancer. And it was a battle that started way back in February. And my diagnosis was in March and almost lost my life twice in the month of March. And fortunately for me, my treatment is helping and I'm heading in the right direction, but it's a battle and I don't take it lightly and I'm grateful. And speaking of an escape and solace, again, here I am. Sports helps me so much. It's so much bigger than sports. You think about all the relationships you've built over the year, Charles. This is how you and I know each other
Facts.
because of sports.
Yeah.
And so for me, I am a super passionate person about everything that I'm a part of. Family, friends, sports, business. I'm passionate about everything, and that's something that I hope will come out in this time that we spend on the Outside the Shy podcast because I will be very passionate. I will have some crazy ass takes from time to time. But the one thing I will say, Charles, and you know this about me, you'll never not know where I stand.
Facts. Facts. And I mean,
Always.
and again, as soon as you came to me about this, man, I was like, I came home and told my wife, I was like, yo, I can't wait for this. I can't wait for this. I was like, because it's just you don't meet too many people who are just as passionate about something the same way that you are. You know what I'm saying? And
100%.
yeah, man, I'm excited. I'm excited, and I know that we're gonna have some fire takes. We're gonna talk about some fun stuff here, man. So let's go ahead and jump in, man. Hey, our Bears are in the
Yo,
playoffs. Are in the playoffs.
yo.
Like,
Hey,
listen,
here's okay. I want to ask you, Charles. Let
yeah, yeah,
me
yeah,
let
yeah.
me let me pose the first question to you.
Let's go. Let's go.
Okay. Because I hear and see all these Bears fans, and I'm locked in.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I might as well be in the shy because
Facts.
I'm that locked in.
Okay.
I have some Bears fans that I know, and they are saying that if we lose this game on Saturday night, and I said we because damn it,
Yeah,
I
I'm a
am
part of this.
entrenched in the Bears, baby.
You see it?
Bear damn down. Hey, I got it tattooed on my body. So let's not play around. If we lose to the Packers, there are people talking about that the season is a failure if we lose to the Pack on Saturday night. Now, I'm going to hit you with this question. If I had told you, Sir Charles, if I had told you in August
Yeah.
that this team would win 11 games in the regular season, win the NFC North, and be the number 2 seed in the NFC, A, would you believe me? And B, would you take it?
So coming into the season, I think we were texting. and I was like, yo, I got a bad feeling. I was just like, I was like, as a
And
Bears
that's
fan,
fair. That's
Bears fan,
fair.
you're always just like, listen, it looks good on paper. It looked real good on paper.
Paper ain't won nothing.
And I was like, I was like, I just don't know. Now, coming into the season, I was like, hey, if we get 7 wins, I'm happy. I'm ecstatic because I'm
Yeah.
like, it's Ben's first season. Caleb's still learning the offense. We got a bunch of new, our running back room. We got a new running back. We offensive line is brand new. I'm like, hey, we get 7 wins. I'm cool. To get 11 and win the North, that's huge. That's huge. And I think,
Yeah,
and I think
absolutely.
we talked about this a while, like right before the end of the season. I think we were a year early. I think so. You know what I mean? I think we were like just a tad early, but I don't think if we, first of all, I don't like speaking losses into existence. When we win on Saturday, okay, when we win on Saturday,
There you go.
this
There you
is
go. I
going,
like
this
it.
is, I think this just kind of sets the table for next season, right? Like I think that we're kind of showing, hey, we're maybe like one or two pieces away from really running this entire conference. And we can get
Hmm.
into that part later because I like we were texting during the game on Sunday, just stuff that we saw. But yeah, I don't think it's gonna be a failure if they end up losing. If we end up losing, I don't think it's the end of like a oh my god, what a I can't believe our season ended like that. No, I think we need to look at it like, dang, we weren't even supposed to be here.
Right. And when you said too early, this is my thoughts, and I think I've told you this, but when I think about this year's Bears team, the 2025 version of the Chicago Bears, it reminds me of the 2015 Cubs.
Yeah,
Now, I hope it doesn't end like it did for the Cubs in 2015 because it felt like that team was a year early as well.
yeah,
And you get to the NLCS and you get swept by the Mets. Now, we did knock off the St. Louis Cardinals,
it's all
and
that
I was
matters.
present and accounted
That's a W
for one
right
of those
there.
games in St. Louis, so I was there. Which is wild when you think about that's the only time the Cubs and Cardinals have ever met in the playoffs.
That's wild.
Wild. That's hard to believe.
Yeah,
Um, but it was a year early now. Then 2016, you fast forward, win the World Series, and the rest is history. Um, it does feel like this Bears team, is a year ahead. Um, Definitely exceeded my expectations. I was thinking honestly 9, maybe 10 wins if that was the ceiling. Like
yeah.
if everything goes great, maybe 10 wins just based on what the schedule looked like. Um, but here we are, and so you kind of go into the season with the mindset and with an expectation level. But now that we're here and 11-7 and the North champs and the number 2 seed, you're like, well, let's just go win the whole thing.
Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah,
honestly, when you look at the NFL, I don't know that there's any real true favorite because every team has shown
yeah.
certain vulnerabilities throughout the year. The Rams laid an egg in Carolina. Um, Seattle's been up and down, and I just honestly think people don't trust Sam Darnold. To be honest with you, I
I
think
mean,
people just don't trust him.
proven.
Uh, and so I look at teams. This is kind of how I look at them. Who's their head coach?
Mhm.
Who's their quarterback? I feel pretty good about ours.
I,
You know,
and we talked about it a while ago, man. Last year for Caleb was so hard to watch.
was
It was so tough to watch. And then you come into this season, and I don't know about you, but for me, I was like, dude, I don't know if I could watch him get hit and sacked 60 times this year. And I knew we had some new pieces on the line that were going to help out and everything. I came in thinking, man, listen, dude got sacked what 60 something times last year.
mm-hmm. Yep.
I was like, I can't go through that again. But you look at that team you look at the team this year, and it just felt different. It just felt different. Like the offense felt different. Like Caleb, it felt like he kind of was like, all right, I know I can move around a little bit. He was extending plays. It wasn't like dumb throws or anything like that like it was last year. It didn't feel like he was forcing stuff like he was last year. It just felt like he was a little bit more comfortable, even though this is his first year with Ben. it just felt like he was more comfortable. And the one thing that and I sent you this text. I was like, we talk about the Red Wolves a lot, right? We talk about
Hmm.
Arkansas State a lot. We see a lot of correlation between Arkansas State and the Chicago Bears because, hey,
Yeah.
we could be losing the first 3 quarters, but hey, damn it, we got a fourth quarter.
Fourth quarter's money time,
Fourth quarter is money time, and we gonna lay it all on the line in the fourth quarter. And I told you, I was like, I can't take no more. This season of the Bears, man, they really exceeded my expectations. I think that, coming into this game on Saturday, win or lose, it's it should go as a high note. It shouldn't be looked at like, oh man, we got here but we choked. Nah, no,
Mm.
no. We weren't even supposed to be here. If you really look at it, we weren't even supposed to be here.
Well, I mean, think about it, bro. Like everybody was calling Green Bay, a Super Bowl favorite
Yeah.
in the beginning of the year,
Yep.
especially when they got Micah Parsons.
Facts.
They get Micah Parsons, and it's like, oh, they got a complete team. They're a Super Bowl contender. And then obviously they lose Micah, and the Bears have dealt with injuries all season long.
All season.
Let's not act like injuries aren't a part of every team. Everybody's dealing with it, and so for me, I won't say the season is a failure if we lose Saturday night to the Packers. I will say it'll be disappointing because I can't stand them. I
Facts.
mean, I in all teams on the planet, there's no team I hate more than the Green Bay Packers. I mean, I'm talking about I put them up there with the most hated people in the history of the world. That's how much I hate the Green Bay Packers. So to me, we got to get the dub just because it's the Packers, first and
Facts.
foremost.
Facts.
Like, you don't want to go into an off season with them holding that over our head. Oh, same old Bears, SOB, same old Bears. Um, we want to go into the off season with that. When you start looking at recent history, because the truth is, Caleb was very mismanaged last year under Eberflus and that staff. Um, Completely mismanaged. You think about the number of coordinators, play callers that he's played under just in his very short time in the NFL. I mean, this is his third head coach. When
Yeah.
you start thinking about it, he had an interim as well.
Yep.
He's on his fourth play caller, something like that, fourth or fifth at this juncture. I've lost count.
Yeah.
Um, and so the thing that I love about Ben is you can tell he was very hard on Caleb in the beginning. Like, I mean, he was basically like, look, I got to break this dude all the way down
And then build it
and
right
build
back
him
up.
all the way back up
Yep.
because it's amazing how many bad habits, bad tendencies, bad mechanics can be picked up in one season under the wrong people. And that was very much the case with Caleb. Caleb last year was just simply relying on his physical tools. I
Hmm.
don't think mentally that he was where he is now, both personally, both an understanding of the playbook, the league, how fast the league is. He's playing at a very high level. Is it perfect? No. But look how long it took Jared Goff to get comfortable under Ben. And Jared Goff, I firmly believe that Ben Johnson fixed him for the good.
Facts.
Like, he's still playing at a very high level. And so I think the future is extremely bright. Obviously, this offseason is going to be huge. Definitely. And I tell people this all the time. The Bears are the number 2 seed, and they have massive holes still on this roster.
Huge holes.
Huge. I
Huge.
mean, we know that we need an everyday left tackle. Listen, love Theo, love what he's been able to do when he's come in there. Obviously, Ozzy Trapillo, when he's come in there, he's done his thing. And who knows? Maybe the future at left tackle is on this roster. Still going to need some growth, some development, all of that. But obviously, the greatest hole on this team is the lack of a true edge rusher.
Oh my God.
Montez Sweat has had a better season, but still, I don't think he's playing to the level he needs to be at.
And the level that he's
And
getting paid too.
no doubt, no doubt, 20 plus million a year. And look where
Yeah.
he's at. And so obviously too, but if you're scheming against the Bears, you look at it and you go, well, we just got to stop that guy because they don't have anybody else. And we got to stop bargain bin shopping for edge rushers. For me, when we go into this off season, obviously, my plans, Lord willing, with my health, I'll be at the combine, be at the draft, all of that stuff. See if we have our man with us right here. Um, but I think the focus has to be heavily on the defensive side in the off season.
Fact.
But with all of that being said, Charles, like this team is the number 2 seed. They are the North champs. They are hosting a prime time wild card playoff game in the Shy, Soldier Field,
It's gonna be crazy.
Amazon Prime, doing
Snow.
all this in year one. It's snowing cold. I was looking at going up and I started seeing the weather and I thought about my health and I was like, it's
Nah.
probably not the smartest thing because I want to be here as long as I can be here. I want to see many more Bears games.
Yes,
And so, but I do think we're a year ahead. I am extremely happy and pleased with where this team is. Now, with that being said, I want to beat the hell out of Green Bay on Saturday night.
I do too. I want them to come out guns blazing. I mean, like they got to come out and start fast. I think, and especially with the conditions that it's going to be out there,
Run the football.
run the ball. Swift,
Holy cow.
hey, Swift looked great. A couple of touches that he had, you know, Monungai. Listen, this Kyle Monungai kid, a seventh
Hmm.
round pick. I like what he's doing.
Yep.
Feed them the ball. This has to be an old fashioned Bears run up the middle, run outside, beat them up, and then hit the play action and let's go, man. Defensively though, we got to find a way to get some pressure on Jordan Love. We got to find
There's no doubt.
there
There's no
has to be
doubt.
something. If we got to send an extra person, something, man,
Hmm.
because if he's just gonna sit back there, we're in trouble.
Well, and here's the thing, the roster is the roster. We we
Yeah,
we don't have an edge rusher kicking that door down, showing up before Saturday night. So you schematically speaking, what you've got to do is you've got to limit the amount of time that Jordan Love has the football. And the best way to do that is long, sustained 10, 15, 16 play drives, eating up that clock, limiting those possessions. You can't make that defense live on the field like we just did the last 2 weeks and two losses. You cannot do that. On the defensive side, you got to get off the field on third down because a lot of that they're doing to themselves,
yeah.
and oh my gosh, Billingsley, if you jump
Yeah.
off sides
Oh my
one
God.
more time on fourth and short, I'm gonna take a sandwich away from you, bro, or something. Like, like I wanted to throw every hard object I had in my living room through my TV screen because I was like, "Is this Groundhog Day?" Because this man just did it again,
You know what? I don't
like
want to
again.
look, man. I don't want to see CJ in man coverage on Saturday. Listen. I think honestly, I think he's probably the best signing like in
Oh,
season.
we wouldn't be where we are without him. I mean, you think about what CJ did, and my biggest concerns when he was signed is just based on kind of what I know from the league, people that I know that he's played with.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, just the locker room aspect of it. Would
Right.
he mesh? Would he fit in? Would he get in where he fits in? That was my biggest concern. But speaking of that, we would be remiss, my man, if we don't talk about Jalen Johnson. Listen, I know my guy is not healthy, clearly, but he's a liability. Like I'm
Facts.
gonna be honest with you right now. He's a liability. And I had a great coach that I was around quite a bit. His name was Trooper Taylor.
Okay.
And one of the things that Trooper Taylor said, he's a associate head coach at Texas A&M now. One of the things that he always said was control what you can control. You can't control how tall you are or how fast you are or if you're hurt or any of these things, but you can control your energy level, your attitude, you
Yeah.
know what I mean? Um, and your effort, energy, attitude, and effort. Those three things you can control every day, no matter how tall you are, short you are, wide you are, slow you
Yeah.
are. It don't matter. You can control those things. And, I think about one of the things that's most frustrating for me to watch with Jalen Johnson, who is extremely talented, obviously one of the best corners in the league. He's been hurt all year, so he's been a shell of himself. But even a year ago, and he's doing it again this year when he does play, is he's making what you call business decisions. And
Yeah.
he doesn't like contact. And so I think when you factor that in conjunction with the fact that he's unhealthy and he can't he can't cover a third grader right now, to be honest with you. Like
Yeah.
he can't. He
Yeah.
can't. And so I think it's more of a detriment than it is any type of advantage having him on that field right now. I mean, if he's 70%, 80%, listen, I'm not gonna make excuses for him at all
Right.
because I don't know. I don't know where he's at from a health standpoint. But what I do know, I've watched enough football in my life, and these eyes don't lie. I can tell when he's not giving effort. I can tell when he's giving up on plays. I can tell when he's making business decisions and steering himself away from contact. Listen, this is the damn Green Bay Packers. They want to come into your house. They want to kick in your front door. They want to go and they want to raid your cabinets, raid all your food. And, they might even want to slap your significant other on the way out the door. Are you going to let them do it? That's my thing.
Right.
Like you can 1, 2, 3 Cancun whenever the season's over, whenever that is, and you can worry about healing and whatever you got to do. Right now, listen, energy, attitude, effort, all of that needs to be on point. And if his ass can't get on point, put him on the bench. And I think that's where Ben's at. I was checking out some of the things that the guys had to say after the game against Detroit. And, they were asking some of the guys what Ben was like and what he had to say. Well, I mean, you could tell he's all business. You
Yeah.
can tell he
100%.
don't play. There is no
100%.
favorites when it comes to this guy, which I love,
Yeah.
which I love. And what happened against Detroit was unacceptable.
Agreed.
The defensive effort in Santa Clara against the Niners, unacceptable. Like, it's just not acceptable.
Yeah. Brock. You
I
had Brock Purdy looking like Mike Vick out there on play. I'm like, what are we doing, bro? What are we
And,
doing?
and listen, I'm different. I'm one of those guys that think it's worth 15 to smoke that dude when he's dancing. I'm different. I'm different. I mean, come on, man. I
Just take them
mean,
out. Just smoke them real quick. Just hey,
like he wants to dance on you twice.
I'll pay the fine.
Oh
It's not
no,
like they ain't got
no.
the money to
See,
pay the fine, JC.
bro. Hey, listen.
I know them
Like you're
California
you're
taxes
getting
is crazy.
punked.
Them California taxes is crazy, but you got the money to pay the fine.
You're getting punked, and the last thing you want is to get punked on Saturday night at home against the
Against the
Packers.
Packers.
They're up there talking 9 pounds of trash. I mean, like honestly, they're coming in and they really don't take this Bears team seriously. They
Yeah.
don't. It's very obvious. Like you can look and read some of the comments, see some of the interviews. There's no doubt that LaFleur and Johnson do not like each other, even though they don't know each other at all, which is great by me.
I love
I,
that.
I love it.
I love it.
Listen, it don't nothing good come from Green Bay. Period. I'm sorry. Just
The
there's
cheese ain't even
nothing.
good. The cheese ain't
It's
good.
it's not. It's not. And so, but this team does have concerns. The defensive effort has to be at an all-time high. There's no doubt there's deficiencies on that defensive side of the football. The offense cannot afford to start with a clunker again.
Facts.
Um, because listen, you you can't always come back and win a game in the fourth quarter. This is win or go home. This is at home. This is prime time against your most hated rival. You can't show up to the party in the third quarter, fourth quarter, because if you do, your ass is taking an L. And listen, I'm gonna say this: I was in Chicago, Wrigley Field, Game 3, Game 4 of the NLDS against the Brewers. And when I walked out of that stadium after Game 4, knowing that team was headed to Milwaukee, I thought to myself, please don't let this happen.
Yeah.
And I'd be damned if not only did they beat the Cubs, but they posed on the field with the L flag. If you thought that was bad,
Dude, it's gonna.
let Green Bay win at Soldier Field on Saturday night and watch how bad that is.
And here, so let's go back to that Lions game, right? I'm watching that game. You got CJ in man coverage against, Amaron, and I was like, this is not. We this should not be happening.
An injured Amon-Ra St. Brown, by the way.
And he was just
80% maybe making us look like fools.
so. Now you look at the Packers coming in. Jordan Love's coming back. He's healthy now. Christian Watson's coming back. He's healthy now. We got to find it. Like I know, I know. Wright hadn't had a great couple games, but we need him to step up this week. He has to step
Oh,
up.
there's no doubt, and it's house money with Nashawn Wright.
Yeah. Oh
I
yeah.
mean,
Because
you get a dude for the cheap at a meal.
yeah,
I love his passion. I love his size.
yeah.
Like he's
That's
an
that's
extremely long
yeah, and that's the
corner.
one thing I'm saying. Like him against Christian Watson, I think that's a great matchup because I think Christian Watson's what 6'4", 6'5", something
Hmm.
like that. Nashawn's like 6'3". It's great.
Hmm.
You don't have to like you're not gonna out jump him like you would with like Jalen, Tyreek
Hmm.
Stevenson,
Hmm.
even Kyler Gordon coming back. You put Nashawn on Christian Watson, but then it's the other guys, right? Now you got to worry about Reed in the slot. You got to worry about I forgot who their other receiver is, but you got to worry about
Romeo
those.
Dobbs.
Yeah, you know what I mean. I we got to find a way to get some pressure. I don't know where that comes from. I don't know if we got to bring back Richard Dent for one game. I don't know if we got to go, see if Singletary can still go. Somebody's got to come back and somebody's got to step up on that defensive line. Um, I like Dominique Robinson. He just hasn't done anything. You got
Yeah,
went and spent money to get Grady Jarrett.
yeah. No, and like I said, here's the thing, no. Like, the Packers have shown they can't stop the run. So offensively, this Bears offense is a run first type offense. And again, if you can just keep moving the chain, chunk plays,
Yep.
set up the play action, set
Yep.
up RPO with Caleb, doing those things offensively, I feel pretty good about that on the offensive side. But if you do that efficiently, you're going to limit the amount of time
Yeah.
that Green Bay has that football on offense. That's vital.
Yep.
Like that to me is the game plan. The game plan is long extended drives, finish in the end zone, not with Cairo Santos kicking field goals,
Please, Lord.
end in the end zone and putting points up and get up, two possessions, three at would be great. And then be able to pin your ears back because you then make that Green Bay offense one dimensional.
Yep.
It's amazing what type of pressure you'll be able to get when you've got them off balance and you've got them one dimensional. That could change the game. But what we can't have is being behind and we're the ones playing catch up because then we now become one dimensional and we then eliminate what this team does best, which is run the football.
Yep.
And so Caleb obviously is dynamic with his legs. I mean, he might be behind Lamar Jackson, the best runner at the quarterback position in the league. Josh Allen, all due respect, he's not as dynamic of a runner as
Thanks.
Caleb is. And I
Yeah.
think people are just now figuring that out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, but at the same time, I don't I don't want that if we don't have to have that. I want
I don't want him taking
Monungai and
extra hits.
Swift,
Yep.
just eating that clock up. Listen, bro, I don't care if we win this thing 17-13. It don't have to be pretty. But I think the best way you can help this defense is long sustained drives on offense, finish those drives in the end zone, and limit the time that Jordan Love and that offense has the football. Because don't get it twisted. As much as I don't like Green Bay, I respect what they bring to the table.
Yeah.
Um, that offense is scary. Defensively, I feel good about the matchup against their defense. Their defense is injured and beat up. And
Yeah.
I think there's some weaknesses there. Obviously, running the football, they're not very good against the run. And I do like the matchups on the back end with their secondary. Hopefully, Rome is back. You're going to have Rome back. Obviously, Luther Burden has started to come into his own. everybody, well, apparently in Green Bay, they laughed at the fact that, we draft this tight end out of Michigan named Colston Loveland. Well, he's honestly the most reliable target that Caleb
Facts.
has.
Facts. And I
And
hate that.
so
You know how painful that is for me to say that? Because
I get it.
he's a team up north guy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like that hurt. I'm an Ohio
I know
State
where
fan,
you're at.
guys. I'm an Ohio
I know
State
where
fan.
you're at.
So it
I know
just
where you're at.
yeah.
And
Anyways.
and ironically, when Arkansas State, when we were playing Michigan last year, not this past season, but the season before, he got hurt against Arkansas State.
Yeah.
And he was dicing us up before that happened. And by the way, my youngest daughter, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention my younger of my two daughters, Tegan, who is my twin. She's a huge Bears fan as well,
That's what I'm talking
and
about.
she's got a crush on Colston Loveland. So I get to hear this every game when we're watching the games together. She's like, "Oh, you see my husband? You see what my husband's doing?"
Is
And
that
I'm
is that what
like,
I get to look forward to?
yeah, bro,
Oh,
just get ready. Just get ready. She's already like trying to do wedding plans and stuff.
oh
Like
wow.
she
Wow.
was like, "Dad, you know all these people, like link me up with Colston Loveland." I said, "Yeah, that's just what I want to do. Arranged marriage is for my daughter." Like nah, I'm out on that. But all jokes aside, Colston has been phenomenal.
Yes.
Sure-handed, love that. Cole Kmet was big, against Detroit, took a hell
Hell
of
of
a
it.
hit
Whew.
on that 2-point conversion. But I do again. I think that last week was vanilla by design. I could be wrong. I do feel like Ben, yes, he wanted to beat Detroit, but at the same time, I don't think he wanted to do too much.
Yep.
And if you think about it, I think Caleb had maybe one design run,
Yeah.
maybe.
Yeah.
I think they were not one to put him in harm's way in that game. I think he wanted them getting reps to keep
Keep him
that
fresh.
continuity going. But at the end of the day, whether you whether the Bears were the 2 or the 3 seed wasn't a huge difference. Obviously, I wanted the 2 seed and we got it. And the Eagles went in and didn't play their guys, and they took the L to the Commanders, which worked out for the Bears. So if Seattle can get eliminated in the divisional round, then
Yeah.
and the Bears can take care of business against Green Bay, then the NFC Championship goes through Chicago,
Yeah.
and that's why I wanted that. This team is such a different team at home than they are on the road.
I want it to be an ugly game. I want
Dirty it
it to
up,
dirty it up.
yeah.
I'm like I think you said 17, 13. I'm fine with that. Like a 14 to 10. It's gonna be cold. It's gonna be snowing.
Hmm.
I don't think throwing the ball is going to be the thing for this game. I think it's going to come down to the run games. Who can run the ball the best and who can stop the run?
Bro,
Um,
I just don't know if my heart can handle any more fourth quarter stuff.
I sir,
Lord, I'm
Lord,
hitting my first alert. I've fallen. I can't get up. Bro, I just,
it's
Lord.
we've had so many this year between
Oof.
between college football and
Yeah,
pros. We've had so
yeah.
many fourth quarter games. Um, yeah, I'm hoping that it's an ugly game. I hope they muck it up. I hope it's Monangai, Swift, they just pound the rock, man. And defensively, just get after it. Just get after it.
I'll say this much. I'm not going to give an exact score prediction. I think the Bears win by 9 or 10. And I know that's going to sound crazy to a lot of people. And here's why. I'm not fanboying this thing.
Yeah.
Anybody who knows me knows I'm always going to keep it real. This ain't for clicks. This ain't for whatever. I think it gets to 9 or 10 late. I think it's going to be a tight one possession game, fourth quarter. I think that the Bears have learned a lot. I think they've learned a lot throughout this season. And if you watch, I was at game one at Soldier Field, Monday Night Football, Vikings, watch this team squander a 2-score lead, lose to JJ and the Vikings at home on national TV. I was at Soldier Field for that game. And then you turn around week 2 and you just get blown out by Detroit up at Ford Field. And the early bye definitely played a huge role for this team. I think they found themselves. I think it gave them time to make some corrections. Um, this team, I think, is a lot more dynamic offensively than we've even seen yet.
Yeah,
And so I think, again, I do think this team is on house money as a whole because they have far surpassed what I expected in year one with Ben Johnson. But I just think that they're in better shape from a roster standpoint at this time of year. I think they're in better shape than where Green Bay is at. And then Green Bay's coming in, losing four in a row. I mean, obviously the Bears have lost two in a row, so something's got to give there.
right.
But I just feel like this team and the matchup, and Caleb's been in huge games in his career, going back to his time at OU and USC. He's been in big games. Um, I just feel like it's going to be one of those tight games going into the fourth. I think the Bears score late to go up 9 or 10, and that's how they take care of business.
I like it. I like it. So let's talk about the other news out of Chicago, man. I'm gonna give you the I'm gonna give you the floor on this one, sir. The
Lord,
Cubs make a trade. They send. Hold on, let me get the exact details for you because this is gonna y'all gonna see JC just turn red real quick. Uh,
mm.
Cubs get Edward Cabrera from the Marlins, and they send Owen. Is it Casey?
Owen Casey,
Owen Casey, Christian Hernandez, and Eduardo De Leon. Look at that, man.
who's not even ranked yet
To the
in the minor league
Marlins.
rankings. Yes.
The floor is
Um,
yours, sir.
so I have to say this, and if this gets to you, Jed Hoyer, Carter Hawkins, the Ricketts family, so be it. I hope that it does. I seen the news starting to kind of get kicked around yesterday, and I reached out to some of my MLB ties to see kind of if this was real, and they were like, "Oh, it's real," and I was like, "Well, what's the return looking like?" And I had one guy that I know pretty well tell me, "Well, they're not going to give up any of their farm arms in this deal." So I'm immediately going, okay, who we giving up position player wise? It better not be Owen Casey, was exactly what I said. It better not be Owen Casey. And because we were told, Jed said at the trade deadline last year that Owen Casey was a no go.
Yeah.
Here we are needing arms to go into the second half of the season to compete for the division, to go into the playoffs. And we were told that Owen wasn't available in these trades. Therefore, that's why these trades didn't work out for big arms. And then you go into the offseason where it looks as if it's almost a guarantee you're not getting Kyle Tucker back. So you traded our top prospect a year ago for Kyle Tucker, who's now walking free and clear. So top prospect gone. Then we fast forward, Kyle Tucker's gone, and his heir apparent to replace him in right field, you trade him. So now you look and go, well, who's playing in right field? Please don't tell me it's Suzuki because he's not a good outfielder. He's a DH, and that's fine. Now you got Mo Baller DHing as well. Okay, cool. Let those two rotate.
Right.
Seiya Suzuki does not need to be in right field. So I'm hearing, well, what about Bregman? What about Bichette? What about bringing Belly back? Well, okay. First of all, Belly's the only one that plays the outfield in that group. And so you're telling me we want to bring Cody Bellinger back, and his price tag is probably going to be 30 or 40 million. So we're going to get in the DeLorean, go back to the future a couple years, and put him right back out there. It just doesn't make sense to me. Bregman, you need power in this lineup. This lineup lacked serious power a year ago.
Facts.
It ends up being the demise for you when you look at winning the division and getting past Milwaukee. You needed more pop in that lineup. You didn't have it. You have guys like PCA playing above their head earlier in the season and come back to reality. Ian Happ is going to be a 220 hitter and plays great gold glove caliber left field, and that's wonderful. But we have less power than a year ago. And it wasn't good enough a year ago. So if you bring in Bregman, what do you do about Matt Shaw, who was playing gold glove caliber third, but can't hit? But he's a rookie. It takes time to hit. And so what are you doing? You relegating him to the bench? Okay, so you have Bregman. Okay, so Bregman, Kyle Tucker, not necessarily the same production, but okay, then we're back to square one. We need more power than that.
Yeah.
And so it just didn't make sense to me that you've got Owen Casey, who looks to be potentially a five-tool player, who the heir apparent could fit in right there at right field. He's gotten maybe 26 at bats in his career with the Cubs. And we've never really given him a chance to see. And what does Jed do? Because he can't get it done in free agency. We're going to send Owen Casey to the Marlins and give us Edward Cabrera, who, by the way, is injury prone. And to me, I look at that starting rotation. If you get Justin Steele back and he's healthy, you're kind of almost overloaded with starting arms.
Yeah.
And you're looking at this lineup going, what are we going to do? We're going to run this lineup out here, and they're just going to what? They're going to hit the gaps because there's no power. And last year, this offense was anemic at times, couldn't hit their way out of a wet paper bag to save their lives, and was relying on pitching and defense. Well, we got pitching and defense again, but nobody in that lineup scares anybody. There's not one player in that Cubs lineup that scares anybody. Nobody. And I love those guys. I love what the jump that PCA made, but he came back down to earth. Now he's a competitor. I know he'll get back in the lab and he'll work on his swing. And I think arguably he's the best center fielder in baseball defensively. I love that. Dansby is a great shortstop, but again, his hitting, we can go around the entire lineup. And, Michael Bush was a pleasant surprise a year ago, was raking at first base. Have no problems with Michael Bush. But you need one or two bats in that lineup that scares you,
Right.
that can change the game with one swing. And where does that come when this is typically a franchise that doesn't want to spend money, but you just let a five-tool player walk out the door? There's no guarantees that he's going to pan out, but he looks good. And so, I'm not a fan of the trade. I feel like Jed Hoyer overcompensates on the trade market. He overcompensates to make up for his lack of success bringing in free agents. He does not. He swings and misses on big name free agents every year in, year out. It's just what he does. And so, very disappointed in the trade. Even if Cabrera wins a Cy Young and is able to pitch 25 games and whatever it may be, we still have a gigantic hole in that lineup that you're going to have to probably overpay to fill. You're going to have to get two bodies. I think they're maybe 35 million under the cap before they hit the luxury tax to spend. Well, it's probably going to take you that to get one of these guys when you really need a couple of them. And so, not a big fan of the trade. And listen, one thing about me, if I'm wrong, I'll say I'm wrong. And I hope that I'm wrong when we look back at this in hindsight. But Owen Casey to me looks like a really good player. He looks like a younger Kyle Tucker. Tuck had a year with the Cubs, and he's obviously probably not going to get that $500 million he was hoping for. But you had a guy on the cheap that you had team control over, and you ship him out. I don't understand it.
I think that's been my issue with all Chicago sports over the years. It's like we've got homegrown talent. We just don't want to keep them, and then we don't want to pay anybody else to come in and fill that spot, especially with the Cubs. I don't know too much about Casey, but just me and you talking earlier. If you say he's a five-tool player, why are we letting that walk? And then Cabrera, injury prone, really hasn't shown too much.
I mean, he's got electric stuff. Like
Yeah.
I hope he comes in and kills it. Like he's got electric stuff, but he has been hurt. Electric stuff sitting on the bench don't do you no good.
Correct.
And you're giving up an everyday player for a dude that could potentially pitch once every 5 days.
I mean,
That's not apples to apples.
He was 8-7 last year with a
Hmm.
3.53 ERA. The year before played, I mean, he had 20 starts in 2024, 26 starts in 25. I mean, the records aren't great. I mean, I know the Marlins haven't been a
And
good team.
granted, the
Marlins are
Marlins
not a
aren't
good team.
good. He's not going to have a Marlins type defense behind him. He's going to have a very good defense behind him. But the health concerns bother me. Listen, I here's me. Here's where I'm at, Charles. If the plan is to go get Bregman, if the plan is to go get Bo Bichette, if the plan is to bring Belly back, like I'm not trying to claim I know what they're doing
Right.
because Lord knows I have no damn idea what they're doing at Clark and Addison right now. I don't know.
I don't think they
But
do.
if the plan is to get Bregman, well then naturally that means Matt Shaw is out.
Yeah.
Like and unless you're going to trade Nico and move Shaw to second, which is his natural position, and then trade Nico, which has been maybe the most consistent contact hitter the Cubs have, which I would not be a fan of getting rid of Nico. But whatever that plan is, why would you not potentially try to put a package together based around Matt Shaw? If the plan is to go get Bregman or go get Bo Bichette and put them at third, then why not try to put a package together with Matt Shaw? I'm not saying that the Marlins would take it, but why send a package centered around Owen Casey when everybody wants to talk about, oh, the Cubs are logjam with outfielders? Who? Who? Alcantara? He was called up and barely played. And that's another thing about Craig Counsell that I don't understand. He showed a tendency in Milwaukee to play the young guys and give them opportunities. And for whatever reason, we bring Owen Casey up, we bring Alcantara up, we bring these guys up and Mo Baller, and you play them a game and then you sit them on the bench for the next 5 games, 6 games, 8 games, whatever, and you don't play them. Well, how do you know what you have? And we're sitting here today looking at this roster going, well, who's going to play right field? Is Seiya going to play right field? He going to DH?
Is there a situation where there's somebody on the roster right now, infield, third base, that can move out to right field? You know what I'm
I
saying?
mean,
Like,
do you really want to go into the season with an experiment in right field
but that's
when
what
you just let one walk?
but that's what I'm saying. Is that, do you think that's something that they're looking at? Like, hey, I know we just let this guy walk, but can we move? I don't know, a Shaw or a somebody out to right field just to see if they can do something. That way we can bring in a Bichette and he can just go ahead and plug and play at third.
I think what the plan would be, and this is just me, if you get Bregman or Bichette and you put them at third, I think you relegate Matt Shaw to a bench role where he can come in and he can play third or he could play second for Nico. And then I think that they're gonna put Seiya Suzuki in right field every day. And the dude terrifies me every time a ball goes in his direction.
Yeah.
Love him at the plate. Don't love him in the outfield. And then if you do that, then you got Mo Baller at the DH, and there's your everyday lineup, which I don't love.
Yeah.
I don't love it because, you know, right field, we got to have somebody out there that can catch a ball, that can read a ball
Yeah.
in right field. And Seiya has shown time and time again that's not him. Like he's not the guy. And so for me, do you look and trade somebody like Ian Happ or Seiya Suzuki, whose contracts are coming up, and go get a true right fielder? Go get somebody that can be out there every day. I don't know the plan. I man, I gave up on trying to figure out Jed Hoyer years ago. Like years ago, I gave up on trying to figure him out. You got Carter Hawkins this past season talk about, oh, we're looking at 2032 for the Cubs, huh? Like,
Six years?
who says that? Like,
Wow.
who's talking about that? Like, and then the Ricketts not spending money. Listen, I spent thousands going to Chicago this year to go to Wrigley Field, playoff baseball. I went to regular season games there. I spent my money. and I gave you my money. So I
You know
don't want
y'all
to
got money.
hear about how broke they are or we can't do this or we can't. Listen, I was there watching $12 beers being bought every 3 seconds. You know what I mean? I was watching a sellout crowd. I see the money and the revenue that was generated there. I spent hundreds of dollars on merchandise while I was there. Listen, I don't want to hear any excuses. I
Right.
just this trade does not sit well with me. I will be happy to be wrong if that's the case. It just does not sit well with me. Obviously, I got to sit back and see what the other moves are, but right now I just don't like where it stands.
I mean, do you want to hit on the Bulls now, or you want to say that for next week?
Let's save the Bulls. Let's save the Bulls. I mean, we need to save the Bulls
We
as a
all, yeah,
whole.
yeah. The Bulls
Like,
need
like
it.
we need to rescue the entire Bulls franchise. Let's go save and return the Madhouse on Madison to,
Facts.
to the great days.
I mean, can
I am at a loss with
yeah.
the Bulls. I've said for so many years, it's that little dingy boat out in the middle of Lake Michigan with no sail, no motor, that has no damn idea where it's headed.
That's just
That's the Chicago Bulls.
happy to be mediocre, happy to
Oh
be
man.
middle of the pack. Yep.
It is AK. Woo,
Yeah.
Acme. Acme, that
Yeah.
dynamic duo there. Ah, listen,
That's what. Listen,
let's
man.
pack their office for them.
You know what's
Let's
crazy?
let's get them a one-way ticket out. It's bad.
You look at all of Chicago sports. Poles is like the best GM. like think about like Poles is the best GM.
Listen, I'm going to give Ryan Poles his due to an extent.
Yeah.
I think he has swung and missed quite a bit in the
Facts.
draft. I think he also too has a problem really closing in free agency. I think he's still leaves a lot to be desired there. Um, but he has grown. But I want to give credit to Kevin Warren. I think Kevin Warren has been the mover and shaker with the Chicago Bears. I think he's been the guy that said, that goes to the McCaskies and says, "Hey, like, untie those purse strings. We're gonna go pay $13 million for Ben Johnson because he's that dude. Like he's that dude."
Yeah.
I think Kevin Warren is obviously pushing the new stadium, Arlington Heights, and maybe Northwest Indiana. I don't know.
The Gary,
But I
Indiana
think
Bears.
yes, yes. And listen, I at the end of the day think it's going to be Arlington Heights. I
Yeah, I
think
do
this
too.
is all posturing and
Yeah.
whatever at this point. But I do want to give Kevin Warren his due. I think Kevin Warren has made Ryan Poles better.
Yeah.
I want to give Ryan Poles credit too for stepping outside the norm for himself. He is relatively young. I do think he's learned some hard lessons being the general manager of the Bears. But I have a hard time being too overly critical right now with the success that the Bears are having, being ahead of schedule like they are.
Yeah.
Now I'm not giving Ryan Poles a pass. He's got to own what he's done,
Facts.
good and bad,
Yeah,
good
yeah,
and bad.
yeah.
And so I think this offseason is going to be vital for the Bears. I think the Bears can be good for the next 10 years. I think they could be a dynasty, which sounds wild to say. I mean, that sounds
This
crazy.
man,
As a
especially
Bears fan for my entire life, that's just dynasty and Bears just don't go together. Um, dynasty and Chicago sports don't go together.
not since
Um,
not since '96.
yeah, I mean, really, that's it. That's it. When you look at the '90s Bulls, which that's when I was in high school, I graduated 1994. Um, I think about that Bulls run, back to back three-peats, if you will, 2 years in the middle when Mike stepped away. That's a dynasty. I
Yeah.
mean, that's the closest thing we really have. Obviously, been some really good Blackhawks teams and Blackhawks runs. But the Chicago Bears runs the shot.
Facts.
It's the
There's no
Bears,
questions. And everybody
and
else.
it's a gigantic gap, and then it's every other team. Um, with the White Sox and Sky fighting each other for last. Anyway, did I say something wrong?
You were one. Let me show you something.
Say something wrong?
Now, all my hats falling. You know I'm a Cubs fan. Huge
Yeah.
Cubs fan, right?
Woo. So did you run out of toilet paper or what
So
happened?
so wifey
Did
for
you lose a
Christmas.
bet?
Wifey and the kid for Christmas. We were at the store. And I was like, hey, the colorway is dope. Christmas Day opened this up and I was like, oh, I can't wear this.
Oh
I
Lord.
can't wear this in Chicago
Ye-
at all. So
Yeah, no,
this might be my
that's bad.
round JB hat.
Like that might be like
In the
I'm really
house.
sick and I need something to throw up in real quick. Like trash can's too
Listen,
far away.
the colorway is dope. The
No,
colorway is
no,
dope.
listen,
Right with
yes. Yeah,
that's dope.
yeah, yeah. But that's where it stops.
It's with the logo. The logo.
Yeah,
Just
because the rest of it looks like graffiti on the hat. Like it just woo, woo.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Trust me, we're gonna have plenty of time to talk about the White Sox and their problems. Now, I
yeah.
do want to give them credit. I do. And this is hard for me to say because I don't like the White Sox,
You go ahead.
but I do think they're headed in the right direction. I do, but again, the same ownership of the Bulls is the
Yeah,
same ownership of the
yeah,
White Sox.
yep.
So I don't know how confident you can be if you're a Sox fan and living there on the South Side. And I did. I mean, I went to a Sox Detroit game, not this past season, but the season before. Went there and it was basically White Sox select a seat.
Yeah,
I sat basically right behind the dugout and I paid $12.
yeah.
And I spent way more on concessions than I did on my ticket to sit
I'm
there.
sure. I'm sure.
Um, but it's a bad situation too, and I don't think it's an accident.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
Bulls are bad, the White Sox are bad. The common denominator is
That ownership. Yeah,
the Reinsdorf family.
and it's been like that since I can remember. Right?
No,
Like,
it just is, and like Charles,
yeah,
we could literally do a gaggle load of podcasts just on the dysfunction of the Bulls and the White Sox.
yeah,
It's just dysfunction junction. Um, listen, I'll say this: nobody can question our fandom of these teams because when you say you're a fan of the Bears or the Bulls or the Cubs, or for those of you that are White Sox fans, like that's like admitting that you're a felon. Like you know what I mean? Like it's not like you're jumping out and being like, "Oh, I've been an Eagles fan my whole life.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I've been a Kansas City Chiefs fan my whole life." Sure, you have. We're
Right.
sitting here telling you that we are fans of poverty franchises. So,
Poverty.
it's like we might. I mean, that's true fandom right there. Or we're just dumb as hell.
And there's sometimes that I feel dumb as hell, right? Like
No,
there's
I mean,
there's
there's no doubt. I think I just like punishment.
yeah, that is a great way, man. Man, that is a great way to put it. Because yeah, we'll talk about the Bulls next week. Let's talk about the Bulls next week. Let's wrap this first episode up, JC. I think we talked about a lot.
We did
I'm looking forward to Saturday. It's bear down all the way, and it's always going to
always.
be F the pack.
Hey, listen, brother. I will tell you this. Anybody that knows me will tell you they don't have to look at the scoreboard to know whether the Bears won or lost. Because when they see me on Monday, Tuesday, whatever day it is, my entire week following, my attitude and the way I carry myself is going to tell you whether or not the Bears won or lost. That's how much of a Bears guy I am.
Sunday,
And so
Sunday's going to be
we
interesting.
can't end like this, my man. Like we can't end this season with a loss to the pack. Rams, Seahawks, Niners, whatever. I don't want to lose to anybody, but I'm telling you right now,
Can't lose.
cannot lose to the damn Green Bay Packers. Make me sick.
Listen, I got to be on TV Sunday. They gotta win on Saturday. They gotta win on
Listen,
Saturday. They gotta
listen.
win.
You got to have the gear ready. Like
Oh,
like you
listen.
got
I got the navy blue suit. I got the orange shirt. I got the tie
that.
to go with it.
What are we
So
doing?
that's how you know if the Bears win, when the Bears win on Saturday, I'll rock that on Sunday. Now if they lose, I'm gonna be in an all black with a white shirt and a black tie.
We got our funeral gear on. Oh gosh, I might have to leave social media or something
No,
because the
I'm gonna
Packers
turn my phone off. I'm gonna turn my phone
they'll
off.
just be it'll
It's gonna be
just be
disgusting.
unbearable. Pardon the pun.
It's gonna be
So
disgusting.
we ain't even gonna talk about that. But episode 1, outside the shy, my man, we got it. We got a lot more coming. Obviously, we're gonna have some sponsors. We're gonna have ways that you can interact with us. Make sure you go ahead and hit the follow on our YouTube channel.
Yes, sir.
We're gonna grow this thing, man. We've had this in the works for quite some time. We wanted to drop this first one in time for Bears Packers. We've got more coming. We're going to be coming to you live from our studio at some point as well.
Yes,
But we wanted
sir.
to get this first one in and get it rolling. And hope you guys enjoy, man. Make sure you follow us on social media. We've got Outside the Shot Pod on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it. It'll be on every social media platform. Make sure you give us a follow there. We're going to do some cool things. We'll end up doing giveaways. We're going to do
Yes,
a lot of
sir.
things with this. We're going to grow this thing into one of the absolute best Chicago sports podcasts on the planet. And all due respect to everybody else that's doing it. Hey, love it. Love it.
Yeah.
Because the only thing better than content is more content. The only thing better than love for Chicago sports is more
It's more
love for
love.
Chicago
Yes,
sports.
sir.
Let's do it. There's room for us all. Let's connect. Let's intertwine with each other, and let's at the end of the day bear damn down.
I love it. Let's go, man.
All right. Episode 1, my man.
Let's go, man.
And we
Good
gonna
stuff.
talk. Hey, next week we popping up. We popping up. We gonna talk
Yeah.
about that Bears dub over the Pack.
Yes, sir, man. Hey, let's. In fact, I'm gonna say this now. When we get this win,
Yeah.
you're probably getting this on Friday. Okay, what's today? Thursday. We're getting this on Friday because the game is on Saturday. Sunday, I want to turn around, and when we get this win, we're gonna turn around and do one on Sunday.
I'm in. Let's go.
I like it.
Let's go. Just book it. We got to book it. Speak it into existence.
Yes, that's what I just said. We can't talk about the lot. We got to speak it into existence.
That's it.
Yes, sir.
Hey, listen, if you're going to sing about it, you got to be about it. Let's go.
Let's go, baby. Hey, bear down, and we'll holler at y'all on Sunday after the dub.
That's right. We out.